This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah. Hi, Bindu. How are you? Let's start a reading of Think and Grow Rich book. Let me share the screen. Yeah. We are here at 3 feet from gold. When you get a chance, you can go and review the recordings. But this is currently we are reading 3 feet from gold. Would you like to read, or how do you feel? Do you want me to read? Maybe you can read one para.
Yeah.
I can read one para until somebody comes.
Yeah, I'll read. Okay. So 3 feet from gold. One of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. Every person is guilty of this mistake at one time or another. An uncle of Ayu Dhabi was caught by the gold fever in the gold rush days and went west to dig and grow rich. He had never heard that more gold has been mined from the brains of men than has ever been taken from the earth. He staked the claim and went to work with pick and shovel. The going was hard, but his lust for gold was definite. After
Okay.
weeks
Do
of
you want?
labor,
Yeah, go ahead.
he was rewarded by the discovery of the shiny ore. He needed machinery to bring the ore to the surface. Quietly, he covered up the mine, retraced his footsteps to his home in Williamsburg, Maryland, told his relatives and a few neighbors of the strike. They got together money for the needed machinery, had it shipped. The uncle and Darby went back to work the mine.
Okay.
You're reading or
Yeah. First, we will understand these two paragraphs. What is your understanding of these two paragraphs?
yeah. Uh, Without faith, when we quit, that is actually a failure.
Okay.
Yeah. That is what this 3 feet from gold is saying.
Yeah. Basically, he's saying that somebody quit it before they got the gold mine. That's basically how we have to go it. But he's basically think that the author is saying that those people thought that they can dig and grow rich, but they never heard of the more gold has been mined from the brains of man than ever been taken
Yeah.
from the earth. Means like through ideas, lot of money can be generated. But those people don't know about that. They only know about digging the gold and bringing into surface and grow rich with the gold. And that's what happened. And after weeks of labor, they discovered the ore, the gold ore, and they need machinery to bring that into surface. And they went to their home and they got the money and machinery to ship to that place. And they started working on it. Okay. And the first car of ore was mined and shipped to a smelter. The returns proved they had one of the richest mines in Colorado. A few more cars of that ore would clear the debts. Then would come the big killing in profits. Down went the drills, up went the hopes of Darby and Uncle. Then something happened, the vein of gold or ore disappeared. They had come to the end of the rainbow and the pot of gold was no longer there. They drilled on, desperately trying to pick up the vein again, all to no avail. Finally, they decided to quit. They sold the machinery to Junkman for a few $100s and took the train back home. Some Junkmen are dumb, but not this one. He called a mining engineer to look at the mine and do a little calculating. The engineer advised that the project had failed because the owners were not familiar with the fault lines. His calculations showed that the vein would be found just 3 feet from where the Darbys had stopped drilling. That is exactly where it was found. Could you please explain your understanding of these two paragraphs?
Yeah, this is what you mentioned earlier, that more than what we get from the underneath the ground, we can mine it from our brain itself with our own ideas, because they didn't went for any second opinion or to consult a technician, or experienced person also. So they just left it and went. But the person whom they had sold the machinery, he had the brain to ask the advice to an engineer, and he could get it. That is faith, and also mining the gold from our brain, using a brain.
What the lesson from this is, before quitting anything, you just have to
Yeah,
get expert opinion on why you are not able to get the result of what you are looking. And that's
yeah,
what the moral of this story, I could say. Moral of this, that before quitting anything,
yeah.
you need to ask the expert opinion
Take the expert
that
opinion.
what the challenges you are facing and why you are quitting and how he can help you. And that's basically. Yeah, go ahead.
The junk man took millions of dollars in ore from the mine because he knew enough to seek expert counsel before giving up. Most of the money which went into the machinery was procured through the efforts of R.U. Darby, who was then a very young man. The money came from his relatives and neighbors because of their faith in him. He paid back every dollar of it, although he was years in doing so. Should I continue, or
Yeah, read one more.
Long afterward, Mr. Darby recouped his loss many times over when he made the discovery that diesel can be transmuted into gold. The discovery came after he went into the business of selling life insurance.
Yeah. Can you could you please explain your thoughts on these two paragraphs?
Yeah. If he had the burning desire, he would have searched for any other option or any other ways to get into the dig into where the ore is there. But he understood that only the burning desire can reach them to their goals. Only after he went into the selling life insurance business of selling life insurance. That is the moral is, to reach the goal, we should need a burning desire.
Okay. That basically the young man took millions of dollars from the gold mine, and because R.U. Darby and those two people, and because he's a very young man when he borrowed the money, and he got money from the relatives and neighbors, and basically he paid back every dollar, but he took a lot of time to pay back.
Took lot.
It's not immediate.
Yes,
He took a lot of time, but he earned money by learning a lesson from that, because the desire can be transmuted into gold. And he basically, he made a discovery after he went into the business of selling life insurance. Basically, he says that the desire can be transmuted in gold, and he sold life insurance so successful that he never left anybody. He keep on asking to purchase the life insurance. Even they say no, he doesn't care. He keep on repeating, and he joined into the $1 million round table. Hi, Hanuman. How are you?
Hi, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Good evening.
Fine, thank you, sir.
Hanuman, can you read this paragraph?
Okay, sir. Definitely. Remembering that he lost a huge fortune because he stopped 3 feet from gold, thereby profited by the experience in his chosen work by the simple method of saying to himself, I stopped 3 feet from gold, but I will never stop because men say no when I ask them to buy insurance. Derby
Yeah,
is
continue
not
one more. Yeah, go ahead.
Derby is one of a small group of fewer than 50 men who sell more than $1 million in life insurance annually. He owes his stickability to the lesson he learned from his qualitability in the gold mining business.
Yeah. What happened was before you came, we read a couple of paragraphs. Basically the headline is 3 feet from gold. What happened is two people discovered the gold mine. They went to find the gold because they thought that they can find the gold mine and they become rich. They went to find the gold mine. They went to work, and after some days they found one mine, and they came because they need machinery and all those things. They went home. They borrowed money from the neighbors and relatives, and they got machinery and they started digging in the gold mine. After some loads of gold, and the ore is stopped, means like they couldn't see the vein, the path to get gold. And once they couldn't see it, they desperately dig some more feet, but they couldn't find it. Then they desperately sold that machinery, whatever they purchased machinery, because they need to ship back and all those things. Nobody is going to buy because that for that reason they sold all those machinery to junk man. What the junk man did is he is not a junk. He's not dumb man. He basically thought that he went for the expert help, and the mining engineer came and he said that the file they missed the fault lines. They basically you can find 3 feet from here, and there he found that gold, and he took millions from that gold mine. But what these people, the author was saying that these people went to dig the gold, but he says that the brains of men can earn more money, and means like they can grow rich by just thinking an idea and implementing idea. Means like a brain has more capacity to than gold mine itself. Means gold mine has a limited capacity to mine, but the brain of mine has unlimited capacity to mine. That's what he says. The author just quotation. He just give the quotation. That's what the whole story is. And he basically went into the insurance business, those who lost the gold mine. And when he went to the insurance business, people say no, he doesn't care. He keep on asking until he get the sale. And he joined into the $1 million round table. And he sold such a huge life insurance, and he paid back all those money he purchased. He borrowed for the getting the gold machinery to dig the gold. Whatever the purchased gold mine machinery, he paid back all those money, but it took a lot of time for him to pay back. But he learned a lesson that I lost 3 feet from gold. I should not last, even if the people say no. He doesn't care whatever they no say. He keep on going back after them, and he basically sold so successfully that he joined $1 million club. That's what the lesson he learned. I think, yeah.
Before
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
read చేయాలా సార్?
Change.
before success comes
The two
in
paragraphs
any
ఉంది.
man in life, before success comes in any man's life, he is sure to meet with much temporary defeat and perhaps some failure. When defeat overtakes a man, the easiest and most logical thing to do is to quit. That is exactly what the majority of men do. More than 500 of the most successful men this country has ever known told the author their greatest success came just one step beyond the point at which defeat had overtaken them. Failure is a trickster with a keen sense of irony and cunning. It takes great delight in stripping one when success is almost within reach.
What did you get from these two paragraphs? Means like, what is your understanding of these two paragraphs?
హండ్రెడ్స్ ఆఫ్ మెన్స్ సక్సెస్ కి కారణం ఏంటంటే లాస్ట్ వరకు దాని గురించి రీచ్ అయ్యే వరకు ప్రయత్నం చేయాలి, క్వైట్ గా ఉండకూడదు అని చెప్పేసి.
This is not quiet, it is quit.
Before success comes, any man like the meet with temporary defeated, perhaps some failures. చాలా మంది జీవితాల్లో ఫెయిల్యూర్స్ ఎదురవుతాయి. సక్సెస్ వచ్చే ముందు చాలా మంది జీవితాల్లో ఫెయిల్యూర్లు ఎదుర్కొంటారు. అయినా కానీ క్వైట్ గా ఉండకుండా ప్రయత్నం చేయాలి. More than 500 of most successful men country has overtaken success in just a year. చాలా మందిని అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే వాళ్ళలో ఒక స్టెప్ బిఫోర్ వాళ్ళు ఫెయిల్యూర్ ని యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయడం వల్ల సక్సెస్ అన్నది రాకుండా పోయింది.
లేదు, that's not the meaning. What he says that lot of people, successful people, they are ready to quit, but they took one more step before quitting, then they got success. Means like basically they are ready to quit, but they didn't quit. Just as soon as they didn't quit, they got success. Means the country has lost 500 most successful people he interviewed. All they told was, we got a lot of failure, but we continued even though we got failure. That's why we are successful. And even though basically that's what the meaning is. Bindu, would you please explain your thoughts on this?
Yeah, same thing only. Because sorry. Mostly sorry. Majority of the people, when they feel they are going to a failure, they have the tendency to quit. So if when we go beyond that, means even when we see the failure, when we give and one more try, then the success will be ours. This temporary defeat, what we feel, is just a trick by the universe to check our faith.
Yeah.
At least
Thank you. Yeah.
I like to believe like that.
I think we have a lot of lessons we have to learn from these 3 feet from gold.
Yeah.
What lesson you basically learned from these 3 feet from gold? Basically, just outline.
First thing is first principle, faith. Second principle, burning desire, or vice versa. We can take. First, we need the burning desire, and we should have the faith to reach the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, and he says that before quitting, you need expert advice. And if you have desire, persistence and faith, you can achieve anything. The second is that lot of people quit when they get hard thing. Basically, when they are hard, basically when they get setbacks, they are ready to quit. And most people will quit. But most successful people will go step beyond their failure and they achieve success after going beyond their failure. And that's where that guy, the Darby, just became the million round insurance agent. Even though people says no, they don't buy the insurance, he still keep on going them and he joined the $1 million round table. In the 1900s, $1 million round table is too much. It is now almost maybe $50 million or $100 million worth, according to this time frame. Yeah. Okay. Then we'll stop here for the reading. Then we go into gratitude, and I'll share the gratitude thing, and the gratitude goal and affirmations. We can write whatever you can write, or you can read whatever the way you want. But we'll go and start reading it. Basically, I'll share the affirmations, that the greatness, grateful, basically gratitude and all those things. You guys can go ahead and do it. This is the sample gratitude, but you can do whatever you would like.
मैं पार्टी साथ चलूंगा ना पार्टी साथ ले कनेक्ट చేశారా నేను ఇవాళ మేడం ఇవాళ అడిగిపోతుంది రావడం అడిగిందా అడిగింది రావడం
Hi, Bindu. This meeting may complete in 2 minutes because I set a limit for 40 minutes so that we don't extend beyond the 40 minutes. But if you have any questions or if you have any questions or anything to ask, you can rejoin the same link. We can discuss there without recording. This will, because I don't have time, I think, to read the self-discipline camp and the self-discipline and self-confidence formula and the promise. And I think this will disconnect in 1 minute. You guys complete the gratitude and the goal and the affirmations, or we can read affirmations. If you have any affirmations, Bindu, prepared, you can read them. And I have some affirmations prepared. Those are here. I like myself. I love myself. I feel happy. I feel healthy. I feel terrific. Do it now. I am 100% responsible for all the things in my life. I believe that something wonderful happens to me today. I am the master of my thoughts, habits, and actions. Each day I choose discipline and positive habits that align with my highest self. These are I prepared a couple of the affirmations for a class purpose, but we can extend on this. If you have anything, you can add it or you can say it loud so that people can get it.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted.